It's Paul Marsh, and I'm delighted to say that I've been joined by TV presenter Cherry Healey. Cherry, thank you so much for joining me.
Paul, it's always a joy to talk to you.
So we are going to be talking about menopause. We're going to be talking about the fact that half of young UK women know what to expect thanks to the new culture of actually speaking about it. Now, I have actually done, I think, around about 3 interviews in as many weeks about the menopause. And the funny thing is a few years ago, I would not have had a clue what I was talking about at all. And I think my wife would probably be okay with me saying this. A couple of years ago, my wife didn't like me very much. And I didn't know if it was because she was having an affair or what it was, but she did not like me very much. And it turns out this is what it was all about. Well, I think she may not like me very much anyway, but it probably wasn't helped by the menopause.
This is so interesting. Gosh, that's such an interesting point that you've made, because I always say women's health is not a women's issue. It's an everyone issue. And women talking to other women about this subject is important, but really what we need to be talking to everyone about it. It should be taught in schools to boys and girls. Menopause should not be an ugly subject, but women have been taught that our health is embarrassing. Periods, vaginal dryness, anything to do with the human body. We've been taught that. So we need to unteach ourselves. It's a learned thing. We need to unlearn it. And
Is it an English thing? Is it like, oh, no, don't talk about that?
I think it's fairly widespread. In some cultures, when a woman has her period, she has to go and live in a hut for the entire duration, because it's considered to be dirty. Now, it's not. It's not embarrassing. It's not dirty. It's clean and beautiful, and women's bodies are unbelievable. We're literally a portal to bring in new life to the world. There's nothing embarrassing about that we are gods. So we shouldn't be embarrassed about any of the things that happen to us. And perimenopause and menopause is a function. And one of the things that happens is your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, they deplete at different times. And sometimes you can feel like you're not in love with your partner anymore because your hormones dictate your feelings. So if your estrogen is going, if your testosterone is going, let's say you have vaginal dryness, you're like, don't touch me, and I don't like you anymore. And that's why it's really important that men understand menopause as well, so they cannot in a weaponized way, but in a gentle way can say, sweetheart, I love you, but you're not being yourself. Do you think that we should have a little read about this subject? Now, gosh, it has to be done gently and not in a weaponized way. You're being a plonker. You can't go, Susan, you're perimenopausal, stop it. If in fact you are the one being a plonker, buy her flowers, take her on a date,
Yes.
right? Treat her like the goddess that she is. But something like vaginal dryness, right? Now, that can be so debilitating for a woman. It's super embarrassing for a woman to talk about. It shouldn't be, but it can be. There's remedies, right? Vaginal moisturizer like Replens, easy peasy, easy to get hold of, GP recommended, on it goes, and then you just get on with the rest of your day. So there are ways of managing perimenopausal symptoms that are not this intense, this is a really easy way to feel comfortable again. Some women, they get brain fog, they get
Yep.
anxiety, they're going crazy. They go to the doctor, they get antidepressants. They should not be on antidepressants. Some women, yes, but for a lot of women, that's the wrong solution. And it can affect, if it's hormones that is causing the problem, antidepressants not going to help you.
Well, I think from our point of view, I think the key word in there is young, because I think a lot of people that think the menopause is something that happens to women when they're in their late 50s and 60s, and it's something that is going to happen to me far down the line. Whereas, so a couple of years ago, me and my wife were both in the younger 40s. So I think once you hit 40, that is something that you're going to need to talk about. It's not, and it's also something that you need to be aware of and need to spot these signs, because like you say, I dread to think of how many couples over the past however many years have split up and gone their separate ways because they didn't know and they didn't understand.
Oh, I mean, you are so fabulous. Can I just say that you are having this conversation and being so honest about it? And this is something I think about all the time. Like, how many couples right now are separating because the woman feels like she's going crazy. She doesn't feel like herself. And of course, you don't feel like super in love with your partner. And so you separate. And so I wonder how many unnecessary separations, how many heartbreaks have happened because people haven't understood. And this is why it should not be embarrassing to talk about, because it is life And for some people, it's life and death. Some women get so distressed and feel so like they've lost themselves that they no longer want to live. So any like, oh, it's embarrassing to talk about. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care that you're embarrassed. I mean, I do care that you're embarrassed. But more people, the more women and men who stand up and say, this, we got to talk about this. We've got to talk about this.
Do you know what? I think that is something for not just menopause. I think that's something for life. I think the one thing that I have found since taking this role roughly 2.5 years ago, just coming up to 3 years now, I have done so many of these interviews, and the one thing that I have really realized is that we are all going through something, and we all think that it's individual. We all think I am the only person going through this. And the one thing that I have found is that we are all going through something, and 9 times out of 10, there are other people going through it with you as well. If we just open our mouth and talk about what it is that's bothering us, the problems that we are having, I guarantee you that there is somebody somewhere going through the exact same problem that you are, and it will benefit both of you to open up and talk about it.
Absolutely. And I think when it comes to something like keeping a family together, keeping a woman in work, let's say she's worked her whole life, she's now in an exec role, she's earning great money, bam, perimenopause hits, she starts to think, I can't trust myself. So it pains me to think of how many women leave the workplace. I mean, it's thousands and thousands, tens of thousands every year. Right now, as we're speaking, a woman is handing in her notice, when in fact a little bit of HRT would do her wonders. Now, that woman is going to suffer financially, her confidence, her belief in herself. And it's very difficult to get back into work once you've left because your confidence takes a massive dive. So the amount of women we're losing, the wealth of information, the wealth of knowledge, the wisdom that we're losing, it's like a tap that you can't turn. It's just drip, drip, drip every year. We're just losing our beautiful resources. So it is important that a woman says, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to go and see my GP. I'm going to go and see a health professional because I just think that maybe I need some HRT or I need some help in some way.
From my experience with this also, I think that especially as Brits, I think once we open up and we talk about things openly and honestly, I think that then leads to humour and lightness. And I think we can have a laugh and a joke about things. And quite often now, like if my wife overreacts to something and I'll leave it for the moment, and then half an hour later I'll come back and go, think you overreacted a little bit there? And she go, maybe I did. Yes, maybe. And we're actually going to see a musical on Saturday night called Menopause, the Musical 2. And I spoke to Carly Norris about this a couple of weeks ago, and she's starring in it. And she said, yes, it is mostly women, and it's obviously a lot of women that maybe either are going through it or have been through it. But she said, you get a lot of men there because if they are open and honest with their wives and they talk to each other, they will know exactly what they're going through, and they will find this just as funny as well.
Amazing. I couldn't agree more. By the way, I love that you're going to Menopause Musical, but I love also that it seems like it's like the sequel.
It is the sequel, yes.
So it wasn't exciting enough. It's like part 2.
I did ask Carly, I said, is it like a Marvel musical where you had to stay to the end credits and something happened in the first one that I need to know? And she said, no, it's okay. They're totally separate.
You'll get it. I went to a menopause-focused comedy night.
Oh.
Run by this brilliant group called Menopause Mandate. And it was absolutely hilarious. Women laughing about the different symptoms. Like you say, a lot of it is really funny. I mean, sometimes brain fog, I mean, you end up, you know, we all had that thing when we're standing in a room and you don't know what the hell's going on. But that, I mean, I couldn't agree more. There's room to laugh about it, but we need, once the stigma has gone, yeah, that's when we can joke about it. But we are getting there.
I think so. And the more we do this, the more we talk about it on the radio, the more we put these interviews out there for people to go and watch and listen to. That is going to open up so many doors, and that's what we want to do. Listen, Cherry, I could talk to you all day. I love talking to you.
You're so fab. I couldn't agree more. Right back at you.
If people want to find out a little bit more about this, if they want some more information, where would you suggest they go?
There is a wealth of information on the Replens website, or speak to one of your healthcare professionals, but don't suffer alone.
That's absolute. Could not 100% agree more. Talk to somebody. Do you know what? If need be, give me a call.
Yes.
We got a line in the studio with, or even socials or whatever it is. Talk to me, and I'm always willing to talk to somebody. Cherry, thank you so much for talking to me. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to catching up with you again very soon.
Thank you.